your camera.
Well, I think this
Hello everyone, welcome to Wilson Field. It is Friday Night Lights. We have the Maine South Hawks versus the Niles North Vikings for the Maine South homecoming game tonight. WNTA's Broadcasting is proud to bring you this broadcast. I'm Will Charlton, along with my partner as always, Sam Corbett. And Sam, homecoming, it's a great week. It's been amazing so far this week. Lots of fun festivities and just looking forward to a great game tonight.
I mean, it's going to be a great game. Obviously, homecoming week, everybody's excited.
Yeah, and we have the Niles North Vikings who are coming in 1-4 off a very tough loss to Glenbrook South last week, 41-0. And their key players tonight we're going to be looking at are quarterback number 13, Tremaine Connor, and wide receivers number 9, Savon Davis, and number 10, Jalen White. And on defense, look for number 6, Tody and David, and number 33, Jamie Sanchez.
All right, now last week, Maine South faced off at Evanston. They ended up winning 21-13. They improved to 4-1 on the year. Danny Wolf was the leading rusher for Maine South. He had an 81-yard rushing yards, as well as a rushing touchdown. On defense, he also had a pick 6 to put up Maine South up 2 scores. Dan Lasik had the final score for Maine South and a 5-yard rushing touchdown. Now, during the game, Dan Lasik and Ryan Kilberg both went down with injuries, but they are available for tonight's game.
Now, the key to the game for the Niles North Vikings is get Tremaine Connor out of the pocket and get into running situations because the Niles North offensive line is very inexperienced. Also, they need to shut down the running game in Maine South behind Lasik, Bartel, and Wolf. And also, they need to get Cole Dow to throw the ball since he did not throw that well last week against Evanston.
All right, some Maine South keys for the game. Obviously, Will, like you mentioned, it's homecoming week. Everybody's excited. You can't let that overwhelm you. You have to make the smart and easy plays first. The second thing, it's incredibly cold out. Currently, it's 49 degrees, a really cold game for a game in late September. The passing game is going to be very slim, if any. So, like you said, look for Wolf, Bartel, and Lazy to have a lot of rushing yards today.
Yeah, and the weather will definitely be a big factor tonight, so expect a lot of running game. And also, just homecoming, the atmosphere should be great tonight. Even though it's going to be a cold one, we should expect the student section to be energetic, and we should expect the team to hopefully come out and get a win for us tonight.
Oh, 100%. I expect the student section to be up on their feet all night. It's homecoming week. Everybody's returning, celebrating the game. It's going to be a great game for Maine South.
And also, we'd like to congratulate Sean Kelly on winning Homecoming King for this season, the starting center for Maine South. So thank you for joining us for the WMTH pregame. We'll see you in a few minutes for the game.
Watch this mic, make sure people don't like run over it.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that no matter where you're sitting today, no one has a better view of the action than our licensed and trained officials. Please treat today's officials with the respect that all people have earned, and remember to always sport a winning attitude. Our officials for tonight's game are back judge Ron Scott, linesman Kevin Gurley, line judge Bill Crateville, umpire Steve Doty, and referee Bob Shula.
Relay all info. We have to break it. We just got the. Okay, I got fire. It's not really breaking it. It's just, hiding your body with it's cool.
Guess who my new best friend is? He is the sideline announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the pride of the South, the Maine South Marching Band. The band is proud to present music for pregame festivities celebrating another great season of Hawk football. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. And please join in singing as the band plays our national anthem. ladies and gentlemen, a very special thank you to the Park Ridge Color Guard, Police Color Guard this evening. Thank you.
Go, go, go.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are your Maine South
All right, everyone, welcome back to Wilson Field. Friday Night Lights between the Maine South Hawks and the Niles North Vikings. It is the Maine South homecoming game, and I am along with Sam Corbett. And Sam, what are you looking forward to in this game?
I'm looking for a lot of rushing from Maine South. We mentioned earlier how last week Danny Wolf had 81 rushing yards, a rushing touchdown. Dan Lazick, another 5-yard rushing touchdown. Jimmy Bartell didn't score, but again, just a lethal running back. So
Yeah.
I want to see a lot of rushing yards from Maine South, especially with the cold. So the passing game is going to be rough. Cole Dow still in at quarterback. Bobby Ansara is still injured. He's hopefully going to be returning next week. But overall, I just think that as long as Maine South is rushing, again, because Niles North, not a lot of experience on the defensive line. So
Yeah.
I think if they can utilize their rushing game, it's going to be an easy win for the Hawks.
The Niles North Vikings are a very young team with a lot of sophomores on their team. So like you said, there's going to be inexperience there. And obviously the Maine South run game has been carrying us throughout the season so far. But I'd expect to see a lot of the run game tonight, like you were saying.
You mentioned, Will, how they have a lot of sophomores, 19 sophomores, and even a couple of freshmen on this varsity team. So a lot of inexperience to a Maine South team that themselves is returning 9 of 11 starters on defense. So a lot of different views for the defense on both teams tonight, but it's going to be a great game.
And we are going to get things started here. The Niles North Vikings will be kicking off to the Maine South Hawks. Number 19, Tommy Milhalik, will be kicking off to Dan Lazick and Nate Smith, who are back to receive the kick. Kicking off from the 40-yard line, of course. Niles North in kicking formation. And here we go. Dan Lazick catches the ball, gets to the 15, gets to the 20, and he will be tackled by number 2 for Niles North, Jonathan Noel. Maine South will take over at their own 24-yard line.
Jonathan Noel with the tackle for the Vikings. Maine South will start. First down and
So
10.
Sam, what do you think we're going to see from the Maine South offense early on here?
I think the fact that it is incredibly cold. It's only 49 degrees out currently. Cole Dow obviously is a passing quarterback once he gets out of the pocket. So there could be some passes, and he's alone in the backfield right now. So it looks like Maine South will probably start out the game with a pass unless they put a guy in motion, which they do.
Velasquez in motion, hands it off to the Velasquez. Velasquez gets around the corner and tackled for a loss of 1.
Tackled by number 2, Jonathan Noel again.
So that will bring up second down and 12 for the Maine South Hawks. Actually a loss of 2 on that one. So the sweep not really working there for the first play of the game. Coldell will be joined in the backfield by number 21, Danny Wolf. Dow takes the snap, passing. Looks for number 23, Dan Lazick, and he is gonna go all the way for a Maine South touchdown. What a way to start the game.
I tell you what, Will, we were talking about earlier about how rushing is going to be a thing. Who knows? Maybe Dow's okay with the cold. A great pass to set up the Maine South defense.
What a great play, finding Dan Lazick wide open over the middle. Just beat out all the linebackers there for Niles North, and we take an early 6-0 lead. Number 30, Aiden Carolyn, coming out to kick the extra point.
Remember, Will, Aiden is taking donations for kicking cancer. So every extra point or field goal made, he's accepting donations. So hopefully he's making a bit more money right here.
Very true, Sam. And the kick is up, and it is good. 7-0, Maine South on the first drive of the game. 11 minutes and 8 seconds to go. And the Maine South drive, only 2 plays long, and it doesn't even take a minute. So that shows our offense is coming out ready to strike against this Niles North team.
I think the fact that it is homecoming obviously has something to do with it. They're a bit more amped up, but I mean, that's what Maine South has always done. They've averaged, I want to say, about 8 points per game in the first quarter, 12 points per game in the second, so it could be a high-scoring affair for Maine South.
Yeah, and throughout the season, the first quarters for the Hawks have not been that good in terms of scoring. We have put up very little points opposed to, like, for example, the second half. Like, the second quarter we pick it up, but, like, for the second half, we usually start to get the offense going more in the second half.
I think the first quarter, mostly the offense is just trying to wake itself up, get ready to play some football. But who knows, second play of the game, I think they're already awake.
It's very nice to get out there and take a lead on the second play of the game, 7-0 Maine South. Aiden Carolyn to kick it off from the Maine South 40. He'll go about 10 yards back. And the kick is up. Back to return is number 9 for Niles North, and that would be Savon Davis. And Savon Davis gets nowhere. He gets out to about the 15-yard line from Niles North. So Niles North will start out on offense with starting quarterback Tremaine Connor, who has been one of their main players this season for them.
I think the main thing, Will, for this Maine South defense is you have these returning players, Johnny Halverson, Luke Preston. You really need to make sure that you blow up the offensive line because they're inexperienced. They have a lot of sophomores and a lot of juniors playing their first year on varsity.
And it was going to be a trick play for a second, and it was not. The pass was completed from number 7, number 7 quarterback Miguel Picasso Marine, passing to number 15 on the play, number 16, Jonathan Ellison Smith. So it will be second down and 10 for the Niles North Vikings. At quarterback is number 15 for Niles North, and he will get about maybe a gain of 1 on the play. Number 15 for Niles North is Miles Davis, who is listed as a wide receiver, but he's playing quarterback right now.
Number 15, Miles Davis.
That will bring up about a gain of 3, so that will bring out a gain of 2, 3. So that will bring up about third down and 7 for the Vikings.
A great tackle originally by Jimmy Bartell, and then the way that he was able to slow him down, it allowed all the other Hawks to come and push him out of bounds.
So now back at quarterback again is Miguel Picasso Marine. He takes the snap, passes it to number 2, Jonathan Noel, and he will not get the first down. He will only get about 1 or 2 yards. So that will bring up fourth down and 6 for the Niles North Vikings, and they will have to punt it away.
A great gang tackle on that play by number 2, Ryan Kilberg, who is dealing with injuries, and also number 5, Jimmy Bartell.
Kilberg coming out for this game and toughing it out in the cold weather. Back to punt for Niles North is number 19, Tommy Milhalik. Back for Maine South is number 22, Nate Smith, and number 23, Dan Lazik. The punt is on, and it's blocked. Block punt, recovered by Maine South for a touchdown.
A great play by Charlie Romano to find the ball. Tommy Milhalik looked up, had no idea where it was. Romano just jumped up, caught it, ran right to the end zone untouched.
And how about that? A block punt for a touchdown on Niles North's first drive of the game. Maine South takes an early 13-0 on the special teams mistake. Very high snap leads to a block punt. Aiden Carolyn out to kick the extra point for the Hawks to go up 14-0.
I tell you what, Will, we were talking about earlier about how first quarter, normally the Hawks don't really wake up yet. They answer with the second play of the game, scoring a touchdown. Who knows? Maybe this is the game where they start to wake up early.
Kick is up for Carolyn, and it is good. 14-0 Maine South with 8 minutes and 51 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Excuse me. So, Sam, like you said, first quarter, we are getting after them. I mean, just 2 plays, and we're winning the game 14-0.
I think the fact that we have put up 14 this early in the game, it's really going to set a tone for the rest of the game and really for homecoming week. You know, the dance and the parade are both tomorrow, and everybody's excited that we are up early, and it's just going to be great vibes around the school.
And we were also talking about the first quarter. It's great to see this Maine South team scoring 14 points this quickly in the first quarter because, like I said and like you said, we have not had the best first quarter so far this season. So it's nice to get the early lead.
The thing that scares me is the fact that we normally do wake up in the second quarter, and if this is our first quarter, I can only imagine what the second quarter is going to look like for the Maine South Hawks.
Aiden Carolyn to kick for the Hawks again. Take his usual 10 steps back. Back to return for Niles North is number 9, Jonathan Noel. Savon Davis, too. Aiden Carolyn kicks it off, and it is kind of a high kick, a little short, but it is picked up by Davis, and he gets out of bounds to about the 25.
He originally got knocked out of bounds by number 1, Michael Pagliaro.
So the Maine South defense on the field again, and it was a nice 4-down stop by the Hawks, and then obviously the punt block. So for Niles North, we have seen 2 quarterbacks so far, and we were expecting to see quarterback number 13, Tremaine Connor, but he has not been in the game yet.
I'm a bit confused by that. Maybe he was dealing with an injury during practice this week or something, but you know, you never know. It could be beneficial for Niles North because most of their film definitely is on Tremaine Connor. So coming in with less film on their current quarterbacks could actually help them.
At quarterback again is number 15, and that would be Miles Davis. It is kept by Miles Davis, and he'll get about 5 yards on the play. Now we'll bring up 2nd and 5 on the quarterback keeper.
Looked like he had a little bit of something going and then just got met right away. Number 2, Ryan Kilberg. Number 5, Jimmy Bartell. And number 33, Cole Shivari.
Let's see if Niles North switch up the quarterbacks again. And it will still be Miles Davis at quarterback, with number 2, Jonathan Noel, in the backfield. Davis takes the snap. It's a quarterback keeper. And he will get the first down, it looks like. Miles Davis on the quarterback keeper for a gain of 5, and that will be a first down for the Vikings.
Credit to Ryan Kilberg, 67 doing.
Ryan Kilberg on the tackle once again.
The thing that interests me about that play is that the quarterback just really put his head down, wasn't afraid to go after it. Most quarterbacks, now granted mostly at the professional level they're afraid to get hit, but even sometimes at the high school level they'll just run out of bounds. But he was willing to take that hit. He wanted that extra yard, and it paid off. First down for the Niles North Vikings.
Once again, in at quarterback is sophomore Miguel Picasso Marine. Marine takes the snap, rolls to his right, and is sacked by number 9. Great sack.
This is where the inexperience of the offensive line for the Niles North Vikings is going to come into play. If they keep this up, no matter what quarterback for Niles North is going to be in there, they're going to get beaten up.
Loss of 10 on the play brings up 2nd and 20 for the Vikings at their own 26-yard line.
Miles Davis in the backfield again, all by himself. It is going to be a pass, and it is incomplete. Number 2, Jonathan Newell, not even looking for the pass.
That that had to have been miscommunication in the huddle, because Noel was looking to be a lead blocker for a potential run or something.
And after the huge sack for Maine South, that will bring up about third. That will keep it at about a 3rd down, and what would that be, like 3rd down 25?
3rd and a lot.
Yeah,
that is safe to say. 3rd and a lot for the Niles North Vikings.
Once again, Marine in the backfield at quarterback for the Vikings. Marine sends someone in motion. Marine takes the snap. He'll throw it quickly, and it is incomplete. That will bring up 4th down and long for the Vikings, and they will have to punt it away. So the Maine South defense coming up strong. Obviously the sack setting up the Vikings offense way back, and now they'll have to punt. Once again, Smith and Lazick back to return for Maine South. The punt is up, and it is a short one. It is a fair catch by Smith, and Maine South will take over at the Niles North 47-yard line.
Well, I think the reason it was so short is because he was so nervous about last time. I think potentially got into his head of, oh God, this can't happen again, and just really wanted to focus on getting the ball out of his hands.
Exactly, and also the weather could have been a factor too, because it's not easy to punt in this cold, windy weather. Not to mention, it was raining earlier, so the field could be a little slick. Dan Wolf in the backfield with Cole Dow. Michael Velasquez coming in.
Kilberg's all alone on the right side of the field.
Dow takes the snap, hands it off to Wolf. Wolf will get a decent gain on the play. He'll get to about the 40, and that will be a gain of 7 for the Hawks.
Carry for the Hawks, number 79, Sebastian Roskowski with the tackle for Niles North. A gain of 7 on the play brings up 2nd and 3 for the Hawks.
Sebastian Roskowski, number 79 on the tackle for the Vikings. Wolf behind Dow. Dow takes the snap. Back to pass. Dow looks for Kilberg, and he's got him. Kilberg gets to about the 19 on the long pass from Dow to Kilberg. Nice play.
A great play by Ryan, actually. He gave his defender a little bit of a move, was able to get open long enough where he was able to haul it in around the 19.
That was about a gain of 20 on the play.
19-yard line.
So that will bring up 1st down and 10 for the Hawks at the Niles North 19-yard line. Cole Dow with Nate Smith in the backfield. Dow takes the snap. Fake hands off to Nate Smith, and he's got a hole. Cole Dow will get in the end zone on the quarterback keeper. Touchdown, Maine South. 20-0, 19-yard QB run.
That's saying something about the Maine South offensive line, because he was barely touched. He was maybe clipped at the ankle, barely. A great run by Cole Dow. Great vision by him as well.
Yeah, like you said, the vision. Obviously, Cole Dow would have handed it off if we did not see a hole, but the offensive line just creating a great hole there for the Hawks. Once again, Aiden Carolyn on to kick the extra point. Cole Dow with the hold.
With that run, it's always great to have Peter Skronsky back on the offensive line.
Absolutely. Carolyn's kick is up, and it is good. 21-0 Maine South in the first quarter with 5 minutes and 54 seconds left. And Sam, we're getting after him. I mean, that's all you can say. 3 touchdowns in less than 7 minutes. I mean, I'd say we're ready to play this game.
It's definitely going to be able to boost our averages on the scoring per quarter. That I got to say, the 8 points per game when I was researching this game, a bit disappointing, especially because of how dominant Maine South football has been for as long as I can remember. But I tell you what, 21 points with not even 6 minutes, I'll take it.
And with that 21 points, we have matched last week's total against the Evanston Wildcats. So the Maine South offense ready to just come out and play. And obviously last week it was a road game, so it was tougher. But we're ready to play this game. That's all I can say. So once again, Aiden Carrollett will be coming on to kick off for the Hawks. Aiden Carrollett going back a little deeper this time, it looks like. And the kick is up. It's a pretty good kick. It's going to be caught at about the 12-yard line. Caught by number 5, Giovanni Pryor for the Vikings.
Before the kick, you were talking about how he seems like he took an extra couple of yards back. I think it has to do with the cold, because even with that, Carolyn normally takes it around the goal line. And I think the cold is definitely going to come into a play with special teams, with kicking extra points and field goals, and with kickoffs. So look for that later in the game.
So the Niles North offense will start at their own 26-yard line. Back at quarterback for the Vikings is number 14, Bassem Shaheta. He keeps it, and he will get nowhere. The initial hit by number 57, Johnny Halverson.
The thing that I've noticed about the Maine South defense is that, yeah, one guy will make the first contact, and then he's able to slow whoever has the ball down enough to let 2, 3, 4, even 5 Maine South defenders to come and gang tackle.
And that will bring up a 2nd down and 12 for the Vikings. Once again, at quarterback is Shahata. Shahata takes the snap, hands it off to number 21, Kyle Wilson, and he will only pick up about, well, he will get 4 yards on the play, and that will bring up about a 3rd and 8 for the Vikings.
I tell you what, Will, I'm excited right now. I'm looking at the Maine South sideline. Luke Leongas, a call-up sophomore, is warming up, potentially to go into the game as quarterback. So with a 21-0 lead only in the first quarter, we could easily see some of the sophomore call-ups in this game.
Once again, Shahata back as the quarterback. It's going to be a keeper, and he will get nowhere. The initial hit by number 40, Liam Berry. And that will bring up about a 4th down and 9 for the Vikings. And once again, the Maine South defense sticking up, and they will have to punt.
Will, if Maine South keeps up these 3 and outs, it's going to be an easy game. Obviously, 21-0. You're up early, great, but you also can't fall asleep. You have to keep putting the pressure on them.
Exactly, and in these games, you can never let up, like you're saying. So once again, it will be number 19, Tommy Milhalek, to punt for the Vikings. And the snap is low, but he still gets off the punt, and it's a pretty good punt. Dan Lazik, and he kind of muffed it, but did he recover it? Yes, Dan Lazik recovered the punt off the scary muff, which could have gave Niles North a very good opportunity, but Maine South will take over at their own 37-yard line.
You can't blame them for that muff, though. With the cold, and especially with that ball coming down on you with the punt, it's going to hurt when it hits your forearm. So I can see how it happens, but you just can't let those mistakes happen.
Catching punts, obviously not an easy thing to do in this weather.
So Luke Leongas, number 19, will enter the game.
And wow, I mean, obviously Coach and Sarah comfortable with putting in the sophomore quarterback. Leongas takes the snap, hands it off to Danny Wolf. That's not.
Number 41.
Number 41, and a very nice carry, and it gets to about the 40-yard line.
A flag is thrown, however.
And that run will be coming back, as it is a holding against the Hawks. So that very nice, about 15-yard run, and that will be neglected by a holding call, which will set up about a 1st down. And since it was a spot foul, it will be about 1st down and 8 for the Hawks.
Well, the more I'm looking at the Maine South offense, not only is Luke Leongas and the skills players, their backups, they also have their second-string offensive line unit in.
Leongas will take the snap. Leongas throws to Velasquez. Velasquez is met by a group of Vikings. The original hit was by number 15, Miles Davis. Velasquez gets nothing on the play. It will be second down and 9 for the Hawks. In fact, a loss of 1.
8 of 1 on the play brings up second down and 9 for the Hawks from their own 40-yard line.
More reserves coming in for the Hawks, including number 87, Owen Hopkins.
Hopkins and Jack Layden on the top side of your screen.
Leongas will take the snap. Leongas in pass. Leongas under pressure. He scrambles to his right, and he will get tackled by a group of Vikings. And he will only gain about 2 yards on the play. That would be about a third down and 6 coming out for the Hawks.
Leongas looked comfortable enough to escape the pocket. He actually put a move on number 79, Sebastian Roskowski, to avoid the first hit, but once again, a very small gain for the Hawks.
And the fact that you're going from a sophomore level to a varsity level in just one game, I mean, it's a huge step to take. Leongas did look very comfortable, though, like you said. Leongas takes a snap in the passing formation. He's got number 83, Max Mon. And Max Mon will get to about the 40-yard line, and that will be a gain of about 26 yards. First and 10 for the Hawks from the Niles North 40-yard line. What a pass by Leongas.
Even though he wasn't the intended target on the play, number 10, Michael Velasquez, had a great block on his receiver. He actually pancake blocked him.
Leongas takes a snap, and it's a quarterback keeper, and he's got a hole. And he will get the first down and more, about 12 yards on the carry.
Tackle made by number 14, Basim Shehada.
Now, we have been seeing a couple plays of the quarterback keeper, and it has worked so far. Leongas all alone in the backfield now. Leongas looks over to the sideline. He'll take the snap in the pass. Under pressure, and he will fumble, but it was recovered by number 58, Billy Coyne. So very close there on the strip sack, but not quite Niles North football. Maine South recovers. It will bring up about a second down and 12 for the Hawks.
Credit to Mike Perry, the offensive lineman, for actually falling on that fumble.
Leongas to take the snap. Hands it off to number 20, and that will be Charlie Greif. And Charlie Greif will get about 3 yards on the carry.
Right back to where we were, about 3rd and 10.
Third and 9 for the Hawks. Ball at the Vikings 27-yard line.
And we have about 45 seconds left to go in the second half. So Maine South looking to possibly get in the end zone. First quarter, excuse me. Leongas back to pass. Under pressure again, escape to his right, and he's got some room, and he will go for a long gain, including the first down. He'll run for about 19 yards on the carry, and that will bring up a Maine South first down and goal from the Niles North 6-7 yard line.
You were saying earlier about how it's a bit nerve-wracking to go from the sophomore to the varsity experience in one game in the middle of the season. And I tell you what, Leongas looks comfortable enough that even when the pocket collapses, he realizes I can still get a gain on this play.
Leongas looks very comfortable as he takes the snap, hands it off to number 41, and he will almost get in, and he will get down to the 1 yard line. So Maine South almost getting in for another 6.
Michael Velasquez will re-enter the game for number 25, Jack Layden, and Charlie Greif will also re-enter the game.
Second down and goal from the 1 yard line, and Leongus in the backfield with Greif. And it looks like a timeout was called by Maine South on the play.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the first quarter of play.
Never mind, it is the end of the first quarter of play. Maine South leads 21-0, and we are about to get into the end zone again. But Sam, at this first quarter intermission, I mean, we have looked dominant on both sides of the ball so far. I mean, and obviously Leongus coming in, and he's had a little bit of an impact so far. I mean, what do you think of the play of Leongus so far?
I mean, credit to him for staying even keel, not being worried about, all right, I'm on the varsity team this time. It's not like he's botching any snaps. His passes have been good. He's been aggressive. He's been running, and for a rushing quarterback, and he's not the biggest guy. So the fact that he feels comfortable enough where he's like, all right, I can still run. I might get hit, but, yeah, it's going to be a gain for my team. That's just great for the future of Maine South.
Yeah, I mean, you got to love what we're doing so far. I mean, obviously we have many sophomores coming up tonight, and they've been making an impact so far because we have had about 3 or 4 coming into the game and have an impact. So, I mean, and obviously Leongus being one of them. And, I mean, when Cole Dow was in the game, he did make some very nice plays, including the nice touchdown pass to Dan Lazick to open the game, and of course, the punt block.
I think the reason they went with Leongus so early in the first quarter especially is because you don't want to get Cold Out injured. Bobby and Sarah, your starting quarterback, is already down with leg injury. You can't risk to lose both of your senior quarterbacks.
And as we get started in the second quarter here, Maine South will start at the Niles North 1 yard line. Leongus takes the snap, hands it off to number 20, Charlie Greif, and he will not get into the end zone, and he will be stuck up at the line of scrimmage, and it will bring up about a 3rd down and goal from the Niles North 1 again.
Well, I want to go back to what you said about how we've been dominating both sides of the ball. I think that when your defense comes off after a 3-0 stop, your offense is pumped up, and when your offense comes home after scoring a touchdown, your defense gets pumped up. So it's just each side of the ball is getting the other just ready, excited for their upcoming down. So it's really setting a tone for each other.
Leongus scrambles to his left, and he throws it. Touchdown, Michael Velasquez. The 1 yard touchdown pass from Leongus to Velasquez, and Maine South takes a 27-0 lead. And Leongus is able to scramble out to his left and find Velasquez. I mean, that shows that he's pretty comfortable out there. I mean, the varsity level for the sophomore, and that's never easy, but Leongus has had a very nice drive. Once again, Aiden Carolyn to come on and kick the extra point for the Hawks.
I was saying about it earlier, folks. Don't forget, Aiden Carolyn is taking pledges for kicking it to cancer. Every extra point and field goal made, he's taking donations.
Kick is up, and it is good. 28-0 Maine South.
Aiden Carolyn 4 for 4 already.
And once again, I mean, starting off the second quarter strong this time. And, I mean, you got to love what we're seeing from the Hawks.
I think as long as they keep this up, especially with their defense, there's been a lot of 3-and-outs for the Vikings. So if they keep this up, we'll definitely be seeing a lot more sophomores and a lot of the reserves already on the varsity team.
(28-0) Maine South with 11 minutes and 16 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Excuse me. So once again, Aiden Carolyn on to kick off from the Maine South 40, and back once again for the Vikings is number 5. Number 5, Giovanni Pryor, and number 9, Savon Davis. Carolyn kicks it off. Kick will go to about the 10-yard line. Retrieved by Davis. And number nine. Number 9. Number 9, Savon Davis on the return and does not get anywhere.
Number 9, Savon Davis with the kick return. Niles North will start.
Niles North will have a first down and 10 from their own 22-yard line. About a 12-yard return by Davis. At quarterback for the Vikings is number 15 again, and that would be number 15, Miles Davis. It was about a gain of 2 on the play for the Vikings. So that would bring up 2nd and 8.
It happened on the offensive side for the Maine South Hawks. It's also going to happen on the defensive side. I'm looking on the field, and there are a lot of non-starters for the Maine South Hawks.
Number 7, Maureen takes the pass, and it is incomplete. It didn't really go anywhere. It looked like it might have been tipped, but Pagliaro there to clean it up in case it was a fumble. And that incomplete pass will bring up a 3rd down and 8 for the Vikings. Once again, at quarterback is number 14 now, and that would be number 14 takes the snap, and he looks way downfield, and it is nowhere near anyone. Bassem Shaheda does not find his receiver, and the Vikings will have to punt it away again on 4th down and 8. Once again, number 19, Tommy Mihalik will come on and punt. Lazick and Smith back for the Hawks. The Niles North snaps have not been good so far, really. Let's see how this one is. The snap is low again, but it is caught, and the punt will get off. Pretty good punt, but it will go out of bounds as it was caught by Nate Smith. And Maine South will start at their own 44-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Hawks. And once again, Luke Leong is coming on the field at quarterback.
I like that they are getting him used to the varsity experience because Cole Dow, Bobby, and Sarah, both seniors, and there is no junior on the roster listed as a quarterback. Sean Hayes was a quarterback freshman and sophomore year, but he transitioned to become a defensive end. He's obviously experienced with it, but he also hasn't taken any reps at quarterback this year, even at the practice squads.
Yeah, because we're going to be seeing a lot of Leongas from here on out over the next 2 years for sure. Leongas all alone in the backfield. Leongas takes the snap. He's going to pass. It's going to be a connection to number 15, Josh Sizer, and he will get about 7 yards on the play.
Number 19, Luke Leongas pass.
Pardon me, an 8-yard gain on the play. And that will bring up 2nd and 2 for the Hawks from the Niles North 48-yard line.
Maine South's backup offensive line right now is being led by seniors Hoda Manetti and Mo Asawi.
And Leongas fumbles the snap. He'll have to keep it. In fact, it could have turned into a disaster there if Niles North got in the backfield quicker. Leongas fumbles the snap, and he'll lose a yard on the play. So that will bring up 3rd down and 4 for the Hawks.
The Hawks will have 3rd down and 3 from the Vikings 49-yard line.
Leongas lines up in the shotgun. Leongas takes the snap. It's going to be a pass, and it's going to be a quarterback keeper. Leongus will get the first down and more. Oh, and a penalty flag came out on the play. If the penalty is not against the Hawks, it will be about a gain of 15 on the play on the quarterback keeper, and the signal is on the Hawks. So they will have to redo the third down, holding on Maine South. So that will make it third down and 13. So the Hawks have a much longer third down now instead of what they had. Actually, they're just going to repeat third down and 3 from the Niles North 49-yard line. Spot foul on the holding. Leongus alone in the backfield. Leongus takes the snap. Back to pass, and he's got number 83, Max Mon. And he does not get, and he fumbled the ball. But the referee says he was down. Big gain for the Hawks, Leongus to Mon. And that will be about a gain of 45 yards. First down, Maine South from the Niles North 4-yard line.
Scary play for one of the Maine South reserves, Max Mon. That's one way to wake you up for the varsity experience.
And I mean, if that was a fumble, Niles North would have got the ball back because that would have been a touchback. Leongus alone in the backfield after the big play. Leongus hands it off to Jack Layden, and Layden will get nowhere. The sweep is not working for the Hawks there. Layden losing about 2 yards on the play.
I don't know what he saw on the field, but from up here it looked like if Layden, because Layden did cut back inside on that play, it looks like if Layden did keep running to the left, he probably would, I don't know if he would have gotten in to score because there were still more defenders to get there, but he could have probably gained a couple yards on the play.
Leongus takes the snap, hands it off, and he will get nowhere, number 41.
Number 55, Chris Sakmonwan on the tackle.
And that will bring up a third down and 2 from the Niles North 2-yard line. Third down and goal from the Niles North 2. Maine South hoping to convert in the end zone for 6 on this third down. Leongus back to snap, takes it. Quarterback keeper rolls to his left, and he's in for the end zone. Touchdown, Maine South. Leongus on the quarterback keeper.
Tell you what, Leongus has given a great first impression to Coach Dave and Sarah.
I mean, Leongus is having a very strong game, the sophomore call-up. And now it is 34-0 Maine South with 7 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first half. Aiden Carolyn back to kick for the extra point. Hoping to go 5 for 5 on the extra points.
Potentials for more donations heading Carolyn's way.
The snap, the hold, and the kick is good from Carolyn. 35-0 Maine South. And once again, I mean, even behind Leongus, the offense still looks strong, Sam. I mean, the offense couldn't look any better.
I like the fact that they're completely trusting him. You know, most teams, when they do have a call-up, they go, oh, great, he's not used to it. It's going to be rough. But they're trusting him 100%, getting 2 scores behind him already. Now, keep in mind, Will, we're up 35-0 right now. But once the scoreboard says 40-0 or excuse me, once Maine South is up by at least 40 points, it will be a running clock. Granted, the clock will stop for injuries, timeouts, and referees.
Yeah, and that is the rule in high school football, like you were saying, Sam. So once again, Carolyn back to kick for the Hawks. To return for the Vikings, number 9, Savon Davis. And number 5, Giovanni Pyron. and the kick is up. Davis catches the ball. Davis gets to the 20, and he will be stopped at about the Niles North 28-yard line. So the Niles North come on, first down and 10 for the Vikings at their own 28-yard line.
The Vikings will start first and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
At quarterback for the Vikings it's a pitch to number 21, Kyle Wilson, and Kyle Wilson will get to the 30-yard line. He will get to about the 32-yard line, and that will gain a 5, and that will bring up about a 2nd and 5 for the Vikings.
Tackle was made by Maine South's number 46, and if you're wondering why we don't say the names of number 46, the cornerback, and number 41, the running back, it's because they're so new to this team, we don't even have them on the roster. They were called up earlier this week, and they've made impressions.
Takes the snap, given to number 12, and he gets a big kick. He gets a pretty good gain of about 4 yards. Number 12, that would be number 12, Jordan Jackson on the carry.
There is a flag, however, against Niles North.
And more than likely, that will be a holding on Niles North. Yep, holding Niles North. That will neglect the run.
There's
Replay, second down.
There's that inexperience of the offensive line again. Penalties will obviously kill you in this game, and when you're down 35-0, they're going to sting a little bit more.
Yeah, and that will bring up a 2nd down and 15 for the Vikings.
Ball at their own 22-yard line.
At quarterback for the Vikings is number 41.
And it's a fake,
And it's
the
a fake,
quarterback
and it's
actually
a
keeps
fair.
it.
It's a good play for the Vikings. Looks like it was caught by number 40, Jonathan Ellison Smith, for a big gain for the Vikings on the fake punt. And they will have a 1st down and 10 from the Maine South 48-yard line. At quarterback is number 14, Bassem Shahada. Shahada keeps. No. Number 44, Christopher Bland. Number 44, Christopher Bland, the ball carrier, and he will get about 8 yards on the carry. 2nd down and 2 for the Vikings. At quarterback is Christopher Bland again. The freshman at quarterback. The freshman hands it off. Number 21, Kyle Wilson, the ball carrier. And he will only gain about 1 yard on the play. And the timeout is called by Niles North on 3rd down and 1 coming up. So maybe they're calling the timeout to plan out how to get the 1st down or even more on this play.
Well, Will, I tell you what, the fact that Christopher Bland, like you mentioned, is only a freshman, and the fact that he's led them actually as one of the farthest drives for Niles North, the fact that it isn't a 3-and-out, the fact that they're in their Maine South territory, credits to Christopher Bland.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that a freshman is playing quarterback at the varsity level is insane. And I mean, we've seen about 4 quarterbacks from Niles North tonight, so maybe new head coach Patrick Pastorio is like trying to figure out who he should have at quarterback from here on out.
Well, this is his first year, so I think he's just trying to get a sense of, all right, what's my future like? Because he does have a lot of sophomores and even a couple freshmen, potential freshman quarterback, potential 4-year varsity starting quarterback.
Niles North does not have a sophomore team, so the sophomores all suit up for the varsity. Once again, it'll be Blandon at quarterback. 3rd down and 1 for the Vikings from the Maine South 39-yard line. Bland takes a snap. And it will be a quarterback keeper, and he will be stuffed up by the Maine South defense. Number 54, Jack Naughton on the play, on the tackle. And that will bring up about a 4th down and 4 for the Vikings from the Maine South 42-yard line. Niles North will go for it on 4th down, as Christopher Bland is still in at quarterback.
One player to look for on this Maine South backup defense, nose guard Teddy Hickey, number 75. He's listed here at 6'3", 256 pounds, and he was an animal on the sophomore team last year.
Bland takes the snap. Hickey back there, and it is picked off by Dan LaCasio.
Number 7, Dan LaCasio.
What a great play by Danny LaCasio. Just went up and got the ball straight out of the air, and Maine South gets the ball again with 3 minutes left until halftime.
So Maine South possibly hoping to score 21 points in the second quarter like they did in the first quarter. Dan LaCasio with the very good high point interception that gives Maine South the ball at their own 24-yard line. First down and 10 for Leongus in the Maine South offense. In the backfield with Leongus is number 3, Eric Lilo. Leongus takes a snap. He'll throw it to Lilo. Lilo gets to the 25. He makes a move, gets to the 30 and more. Nice move by Lilo to get the extra yards, and he will get to about the Maine South 32 on the play. Now we'll bring up a 2nd and 3.
And from Leongus, number 19, to number 3, Eric Lilo. Number 79, Sebastian Roskowski with the tackle for Niles North, a gain of 8, 2nd and 2 for the Hawks.
Leongus huddles the offensive line
33-yard line.
in the backfield. Leongus to take the snap. Pass. Looks for Velasquez, and it is broken up by number 5, Giovanni Pryor for the Vikings. A little behind Velasquez on the throw. If Velasquez had Pryor beaten, if he would have just gotten the ball a little bit in front of him, I think that could have been a big gain. But that will bring up a 3rd down and 3 for the Hawks. Leongus hands it off to number 41, and number 41 has a big hole, and it'll get to about the Maine South 49. That would not be a fumble because he was down. And he will get to midfield on the carry. A long run of about 17 yards.
Right at midfield for the Maine South Hawks, and with 3.5 minutes left, that's easily enough time for Maine South to score. Not once, possibly even twice with the way that their defense has been acting.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know with the Maine South offense because they have been dominant tonight. Once again, Leongus in the backfield with Greif. Leongus takes the snap. Leongus back. Scrambles to his left, and he will keep it for a gain of 5. A break in the initial tackle by number 14 for the Vikings.
Number 19, Luke Leongus is the keeper.
Bassem Shahada, who is also playing quarterback tonight. And he will get the extra yards for a 6-yard carry. That will bring up 2nd and 4 for the Hawks from the Niles North 44-yard line.
You mentioned how Shahada's a two-way player. He's also playing quarterback tonight, and that can get to you being a two-way player. Maine South has a couple, most notably lineman Peter Skronsky, but the fact that the Vikings have a lot of two-way players means that they're going to get tired more easily, which means that the Maine South offense can capitalize.
And that was a big game by Charlie Greif, getting to the Maine South 30-yard, getting into the Niles North 30-yard line. A good gain for Greif, and that will give the Maine South Hawks a 1st down and 10. With 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in the second quarter.
31-yard line.
Leongis back to snap. Leongis takes, and it's going to be a keeper again by Leongis, and he's got some room. And he trips himself up. Wow. He had some room if he wouldn't have fallen down, because he had beaten all the defenders and his receivers were blocking for him. But still, a good gain, and that will be a first down for the Hawks from the Niles North 19-yard line.
I tell you what, number 53, Hodo Manetti, a great lead block. Like you said, if he doesn't trip, I guarantee that's another score for Maine South.
Leongis all alone in the backfield. Leongis sends Velasquez in motion, hands it off to Velasquez. Velasquez gets around the corner only for about 1 yard, though. And that will bring up a 2nd down and 9 for the Hawks. Once again, the sweep not going that well for the Hawks, as Velasquez cannot get many yards on it.
Number 10, Michael Velasquez with the carry. Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd and 8 for the Hawks.
Leongis all alone in the backfield once again. Leongis takes the snap. Back to pass. Scrambles to his right. Another scramble by Leongis, and he will get the first down. Dove for it, and he got it. A gain of 9 on the run by Leongis.
Luke Leongis with the keeper. Gain of 9 on the play. Bring up 3rd down.
Actually, he will not get the first down. It will be about 3rd down and 1, and a very short one for the Hawks. Leongis only running for 8 yards.
Still, the fact that Leongis had the wherewithal to dive and try to reach across the chain, that shows that he's very mature for only a sophomore.
Leongis takes the snap, hands it off to number 41. 41 has a hole, and he will not get in, but very close, gets to the Niles North 1 yard line, and that will bring up a 1st down and goal for the Hawks. Very nice hole for number 41 to run through.
The 1st and goal for the Hawks. Ball at the Niles North 1 yard line.
Leongis will be all alone in the backfield. Leongis hands it off to Jack Layden, and Layden will get nowhere on the sweep.
Layden got tackled by number 11 on the play, Aiden McCarthy.
Yeah, Aiden McCarthy coming off the edge and getting Layden. Pretty nice tackle to make sure he does not get anywhere on the play. And in fact, he loses 4 yards on the play, as this will become a 2nd down and 5 for the Hawks. The offensive line getting blown up there on the sweep. Leongis to take the snap. High snap. And almost interception intended for Jack Layden. The ball would have gotten to him at the 1 yard line, but incomplete. And that will bring up a 3rd down and goal from the Viking 5 yard line for Leongis and his offense.
I tell you what, 36 seconds left remaining in this 2nd quarter, and I think this is just Luke Leongis' final drive to put one more score on the board.
Let's see if Maine South can get it in here 5 yards out. Leongis alone in the backfield after the motion. Leongis to take the snap. Back to pass. Scrambles to his left and has to scramble back into the pocket. And he's getting around, and he finds number 15, Josh Sizer, in the end zone for another Maine South touchdown. Unbelievable.
No, Will, that's just one of those broken plays where you just kind of hope for the best. Sizer was able to get open. Great job by Leongis by escaping those linemen. Found him, just fired a bullet, and easy points for Maine South.
And Sam, like you were saying, Leongis just scrambling around back there, just trying to find someone open, and he finds Sizer wide open in the end zone. And Maine South takes a 41-0 lead before the extra point by Carolyn. The snap, the hold, the kick, and it is good. Carolyn adds on 1 extra point. Now 6 4-6 on extra points tonight. 42-0. Maine South leads Niles North with 30 seconds left in the first half. And Sam, just like the first quarter, we've put up 21 points again. I mean, what do you think about this Maine South offense?
I'm loving the fact that Leongas feels comfortable out there. He's not rushing himself. He's not forcing bad throws. He looks like a varsity quarterback. He feels comfortable in the pocket, even when the pocket collapses like we saw on that touchdown. He's able to escape it. And I think if this offense can keep it up, now keep in mind, since they are up by more than 40, the clock will be rolling, assuming that they can hold them, assuming that Maine South can hold the Vikings for the final 30 seconds of this second quarter.
Aiden Carolyn to kick off for the Hawks. And Aiden Carolyn going back a little farther this time again.
I think he's just trying to hope to get a deep kick, that way waste some more time.
And the kick is up. Good kick by Carolyn to about the 7-yard line. Picked up by caught by number 15. Caught by number 15 on the play, Miles Davis, and he will really get nowhere after only gaining about 7 yards on the play. And that will bring up a first down and 10 from the Maine South 19-yard line, 18-yard line, pardon me, after about the 9-yard return from Davis. At quarterback for the Vikings is number 5, Giovanni Pryor. And it is caught by number 21, Kyle Wilson, off the pass by number 7, Miguel Picazo Marin.
Tackle was made by number 28, Ben Triffle, one of the junior homecoming nominations.
And a nice tackle by Triffo. And we do not see Triffo in the game often. And he's coming in, getting some good reps to hopefully see if he can get better on Coach and Sarah's radar. And I think that tackle could help him out. Niles North takes a timeout with 15 seconds left. 2nd and down and 6 coming up for the Vikings after the 4-yard gain by Miles Davis. $15 seconds to go in the second quarter. Once again, at quarterback is Marine for the Vikings, with number 5, Giovanni Pryor, in the backfield along with him. Marine takes the snap, looks to pass, goes deep for number 40, and it is incomplete and picked off by number 16 for the Hawks, Will Harder. And Will Harder can almost go all the way, and he gets to about the 8-yard line off the interception from Marine. Will Harder on the tip ball, almost intercepted by Dan LaCasio, but Will Harder there to pick it off. Flag down on the play. Will this be coming back for Maine South? Holding on Maine South, so Niles North will actually keep the ball. This will be a defensive holding against the Hawks. Actually, it was a holding after the play, so Maine South will keep the ball. It will just be a 10-yard penalty. So 2 seconds left to go in the second quarter, so I'm guessing that Luke Leongos will just throw a ball into the end zone and see if someone catches it.
Potential to show off the arm for Coach and Sarah.
3 receivers to Leongos' right, 1 to his left. Single coverage on the left with number 84. On the left, and Leongos will just take a knee, and that will send us to halftime. 42-0, Maine South. Absolute domination. in the first
we have
half.
an interview with our sideline reporter Mackenzie Crone with some of the students here at Maine South. Mackenzie?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Wilson Field, the Maine South Marching Band. The band is led onto the field by drum majors Grace Dietzig, Maddie Coates, and Jonathan Kaplan.
And we are going to send it down to Marie, who was on the sidelines with our interview. Marie?
Shut on, you guys are good. Do it again. Hey, do it again. I'm going to ask the same exact question.
By the way, is it bad what I said about them?
No, go. Do that.
Genres of R&B, soul, funk, jazz, and disco. No dance party is complete without the groovy tunes.
This is Marie Normanton. I'm here with, what is your name?
John-Luc Lassa.
William Wachowski.
Michael Pompey.
We're here at Wilson Field on this pretty chilly homecoming game night. How do you feel about this weather so far?
Oh, I'm loving it. The cold's keeping everyone on their toes, and so far the players are doing wonderful.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about this game so far?
I'm feeling pretty good. We're up 14-0 at the half. Kind of the beatdown. You know, the other team's not doing too well. They're actually trash talking us because they couldn't budge our Maine South offense. The defense is talking some trash.
The Hawks are the best, and we're going to keep destroying them.
Yeah. And Quigley Leach is going to keep doing what he does on the field, doing what he does best.
Yeah. So speaking of homecoming, how do you feel about this homecoming week? Have you had a lot of fun dressing up?
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. Homecoming for the 4th year this year, 2nd year in a row with Karina Milano, which was one of our homecoming queen nominees.
And what are you doing for homecoming tomorrow?
Well, we are going to eat snacks before, and then have fondue afterwards.
Are you guys attending homecoming?
Yes, but I'm not going to have fondue afterwards.
I'm going with the homecoming queen nomination, but not winner.
Okay, what is her name?
Brooklyn.
Nice.
We're in love.
Who are you going with?
I am going with Francesca Luisi. She's an amazing girl, and we're going to have a great time.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. We're going back to you, Will, in the box.
All right, thank you, Marie. And it has been a fantastic first half for the Maine South offense, and we could not have looked better. I mean, the Maine South offense has been absolutely dominant so far, and Cole Dow, when he was in the game, he had a very nice performance on the 2 drives he was in. And the first touchdown pass was Cole Dow throwing the pass to Dan Lasik on a very long pass. Then after that, the punt return followed, and then Luke Leongas came in the game, the sophomore call-up, and he did the rest. Luke Leongas having a great game so far for the Hawks, along with his offense. And he has been finding his targets like Josh Sizer and Max Mon for long plays and touchdowns. The defense has also been playing very well as they have been containing the four quarterback rotation for Niles North. This first half was a great one for the Hawks. 21 points in each quarter. This is Will Charlton doing your halftime recap. We will be back for the second half in a few minutes.
Tonight, the band is premiering a new song for halftime with one of Earth, Wind, and Fire's most popular hits. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the band's rendition of September. Please don't be afraid to sing and dance along. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the varsity Hawkettes to the field. They'll be performing a new routine to the Earth, Wind, and Fire Classic, Let's Groove. Tonight's routine is choreographed by Captains Maya Flipcheck, Hannah Krieger, Gracie McGuire, Aaron Martin, and Lexi Leongis. The Hawkettes are coached by Casey Gibbons. And now, ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet and join the band, the Hawkettes, and the cheerleaders in the traditional Block M as they play Hail to the Hawks. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of halftime, and it's time to announce
Great
another
performance by the
winner
band, the
of
Hawkettes, the cheerleaders.
500.
What a great game so far. We're up 42-0. I'm Sam Corbett. I'm here with Maine South's principal, Dr. Collins. Dr. Collins, it's homecoming week. What are your thoughts on this week so far?
This is one of the favorite weeks of the year for me. I think all of the activities after school, during the week, everyone's really into all the culture. I've seen all the Elvis and Las Vegas paraphernalia. It's been really fun. Just a great week for everybody.
All right, so obviously right now we're up 42-0. A whole half of football remaining. What are your thoughts on this first half?
You know, it's been nice so that a lot of players can get in. I think we've seen pretty much everybody. I'm just hoping for a safe second half so everybody can get out of here healthy and we can move on to next week.
You mentioned a safe second half. What does that mean to you?
Just making sure there's no injuries.
All right, Dr. Collins here. I'm Sam Corbett. We're going to send it back up to the booth as the third quarter begins momentarily. Thanks, everybody.
We try our best to create that authentic sports environment, but most of that authenticity goes on behind the scenes. And coming up, we're going to talk Bulls-Lakers with Jalen Smith. That includes a full highlights and breakdown right after the break.
We're clear. We're back in 5, 4, 3, 2.
And we're back. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Can I get some more water over here?
welcome back to Wilson Field. Friday Night Lights, the Maine South homecoming game between the Hawks and the Niles North Vikings. Hawks lead 42-0, and they are about to kick off to the Vikings to start the second half. Aiden Carolyn back to kick. Kick is off. Taken at the 8-yard line by number 9. Savon Davis. And he will get to about the Maine South 26-yard line. Now we'll bring up first down and 10 for the Viking offense. Now for Niles North, they are probably just hoping to get some points on the board at this point.
I think that the fact that you're down 42-0 at halftime, you really just go into the tunnel thinking like, okay, this has not been our half. We have to turn things around somehow. And I think that this first drive is really going to dictate how Niles North's second half goes, because say they do come out and score and it's 42-7, and then like, okay, there's a chance that we can claw back into this. They scored 42.5. Why can't we score 42.5? But if it's another 3 and out, another bad drive, another fumble, an interception maybe, then they might just get even more down on themselves.
And it was a bad start for Niles North as Bland's pass was incomplete, dropped. Bland still at quarterback, the freshman. Bland takes the snap, hands it off to Savon Davis. Snappy, bad handoff, and Savon Davis is gone. Niles North will finally get on the board after the miscue on the broken play. It was a bad handoff, and Savon Davis still finds the holes in the Maine South defense, and Niles North finally gets on the board. Touchdown Vikings. 42-7 now.
That's what I mean, Will, with that first drive. They set the tone for this second half. I mean, granted, it was against the Maine South reserves, but still, points are points, and now they're feeling, all right, now we still have a chance in this game.
And, of course, Savon Davis being one of the key players for the Vikings, he gets out in the open for a big run. The extra point is good by kicker number 23, Harris Zukinich. And if you take a look at the Maine South student section, it is a big-time whiteout for homecoming. Every student is dressed up in white for the whiteout tonight.
With the extra point, with 10:23 remaining in the third quarter, the Niles North Vikings 7, your Maine South Hawks.
And Niles North finally gets on the board once again by the very long run of Savon Davis off a almost fumbled snap and handoff. And Savon Davis gets it, carries it, and takes it all the way for a long touchdown. And Sam, like you were saying, that could be huge for the Vikings, because maybe that just gives them that little bit of confidence, like you were saying, like Maine South did it, why can't we?
Not only is it going to fuel Niles North, it's also really going to fuel Maine South. They're probably thinking going into this, all right, it should be an easy shutout. Keep in mind, Niles North did get shut out last week, and now that the fact that, all right, they just scored on the second play, or excuse me, the third or fourth play of the drive, coming off of Maine South's second play of the game, scoring. They're thinking, all right, they're ready to play. They're not giving up yet, and neither are we.
Hopefully Maine South will come out and have a nice drive, but number 19, Tommy Mihalik, is back to kick. Kick is up. It's a good kick by Mihalik. Taken by Lazik at the 10. Lazik will get to about the 20. Lazik has some room, and he will be taken down at the Maine South 27-yard line.
Lazik, the ball carrier.
So a return of about 17 for Lazik.
Jonathan Doyle, number 2, with the tackle. The Hawks start first and 10.
First and 10 for the Hawks coming up with Luke Leongas still at quarterback. What do you expect to see from Luke Leongas in the second half, Sam?
Hopefully he's building on his first half performance, gain some confidence. I have a feeling when they first put him out there, he was a bit nervous, thinking, all right, this is my varsity time. You know, this is going to be my first time being a varsity quarterback. And hopefully he just builds on that and puts on a great display in the second half.
Number 44, Antonio Pabin in the backfield with Leongas. Leongas takes a snap, hands it off to Pabin. Pabin gets about 6 yards on the play. That will bring up a second down and about a 7-yard gain,
Number 44,
actually.
Antonio
And that will bring up second down and 3 for Leongas and his Maine South offense. Leongas still with Pabin in the backfield. Leongas takes a snap, hands it off to Pabin again. Pabin will carry it, and he will get enough for the first down. Gets it out to the Maine South 40, and that will be a first down and 10 for the Hawks coming up. And how about this, seeing Antonio Pabin in a running back now?
I like the fact that they're not sticking with their normal players of Bartell, Wolf, and Lazik. I like that they're getting more guys in. But, I mean, he's still an electric player. But I just like the fact that Maine South has so many electric players where even when it's quote-unquote reserve time, when it's 42-7 game, they still have some great players in.
That was Leongas' pass to number 84, who is actually not listed on the roster because he is a sophomore who got called up this week. But it was about a gain of 3 on the play, so that will bring up 2nd and 7 for the Hawks.
Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd and 7 for the Hawks, ball at their own 43-yard line.
Leongas with number 41 in the backfield now. Leongas takes the snap, throws it over the head of number 81, Jason Foster. Just a little bit over his head. He had his defender beat, number 21 for Niles North, Kyle Wilson. And that will bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Hawks. Now, if you're Maine South, do you want to get this, don't you?
100% you want to regain those 7 points because as of right now, it's not a running clock. And I just think that if you're Maine South, you're angry at the fact that you no longer have the shutout. So it's not necessarily revenge because you're up by so much, but it's just a little bit of retaliation.
And Leongas' pass was not completed to number 84. He caught it for a second, but he dropped it at the end. So Maine South will have to punt.
A great tackle by number 15, Miles Davis, to break up the catch.
And it actually is a running clock. But Michael Velasquez, number 10, will be back to punt for the Hawks. And to get the ball for Niles North is number 2, Jonathan Noel. Jimmy Nuzzo on the snap to Velasquez. Taken by Noel. Number 9, Savon Davis, excuse me. And he will return it for about 5 yards to the Niles North 32-yard line. First down and 10 for the Vikings from their own 32-yard line. Now, do you think that Niles North will come out and score on this drive again?
It'd be incredibly clutch if they do come out, because then there's really some fire, because not only did they come out of the gate scoring, but they also held Maine South scoreless. So the fact that if they can make this a 42-14 ball game, it's definitely a spark in Niles North.
And at quarterback for Niles North is number 7, Miguel Picasso Marine, and he completes the pass for a first down to number 9, Savon Davis. Nice pickup of 10 by Marine to Davis, and once again, Niles North possibly just driving again.
There's always the potential that Niles North did catch Maine South sleeping, because when you're going into half with a 42-0 lead, you start to get a bit more relaxed.
And Marine is taken down by number 52, Adam Salame. Also in the play was number 74, who is a sophomore. Not listed on the roster, called up this week by Coach and Sarah. but that is a huge loss for Niles North of about, give or take, 11 yards. It's going to be a 2nd down and 18 coming up for the Vikings. Now a quarterback is freshman Christopher Bland. Bland takes the snap, runs, quarterback keeper, tackle missed by Amsalame, but he goes nowhere with the initial stop by number 74 again. Also in there was number 46, who is also a sophomore. My mistake, that was actually number 45, Max Diaz, who was in the play.
3rd down and 19 for Niles North, ball at their own 32-yard line.
Once again, 3rd down and 18 for the Vikings, and Christopher Bland in at quarterback. Bland takes the snap. Is it going to be a quarterback keeper? And Bland will get maybe 3 yards on the play, but he was stopped initially by number 11, Brian Berry. Actually, that was number 31, Samson Aguilar.
Number 44, Christopher Bland, the keeper, brought down by Ashton Hawks, led by number 31, Samson Aguilar.
That will bring up 4th down and 16 for the Vikings, and they will have to punt it away once again. Back to return the punt for the Hawks is number 7, Dan Lacasio.
First time Smith and Lasik will not be receiving the punt.
Snap. Punts up. Pretty short punt. Lacasio will just let it bounce. And it rolls back the Maine South way, kicked eventually by number 2 for Niles North, Jonathan Noel. And it goes out of bounds at the Maine South 43-yard line. So it will be 1st down and 10 for Luke Leongis and the offense from the 43-yard line. So here comes the Maine South offense again, hoping to get some points on the board in this 3rd quarter, even though the clock is running. Youngest snap, hands it off to number 44, Antonio Pavin. Gain of nothing on the play. 2nd down and 10 for the Hawks offense.
The carrier, no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for the Hawks at their own 43-yard line.
Leongis once again with Pavin in the backfield. Leongis takes the snap a little low. Leongis under pressure, escapes to his left, and he will just have to throw it out of bounds. Leongis probably intended for either Max Mon or number 84. And that will bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Hawks. Just nothing there for Leongis on that play, Sam.
I think the main thing for Leongis is that not only is he dealing with not necessarily pressure, but the fact that he can't let up, even though they are up big. But I think he's just trying to impress not only Sarah, but prove others as to why he did get called up for this game.
And the youngest has been having a solid game, but he has not used his arm all that much. The youngest back to snap, looks to pass, under pressure, in the pocket, scrambling around, hoping to find a receiver open, and he'll just have to throw it. Oh, it's intercepted. Intercepted by Niles North. Number 15, Miles Davis on the interception.
Niles North will take over.
Niles North will take over at the Maine South 48-yard line. Big play by number 15, Miles Davis on the interception off Leongis, and Leongis just has to throw it away in that situation. That's probably the pressure of being in the big stage.
I think the fact that he also was rushed, he's been fleshed out of the pocket many times tonight, and he's just trying to make the throws happen.
And this 3rd quarter will probably wind down, or maybe Niles North will get off one more play, but this is definitely going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter. At quarterback for the Vikings is number 15, Miles Davis. Davis will keep it, and he will get about 5 yards on the carry. Second down and 5 coming up for the Vikings at the Maine South 44-yard line, and that is the end of the third quarter. Niles North outscoring Maine South in that quarter 7-0. But Maine South still leads 42-7. Going into the fourth quarter, all the players have their fours up in the air to show this is it. Like, they have been practicing very hard over this past week, and they are ready for the fourth quarter action. Maine South hoping to come away with the win at this point. Up by 35. Looking pretty good to come away with the win. But Niles North is driving currently. And Sam, do you think that Niles North definitely wants to take advantage of the interception and get 7 on this drive?
100%. They need to take full advantage of that interception. The only problem I see with this happening is the fact that with the running clock, they're not going to be able to use that time. They're shedding time with every play. Maine South didn't have that. That's why they were able to put up so many more points.
And what did you think about Maine South not being able to capitalize in the third quarter? I mean, Niles North outscoring them 7-0. Was it just like Leongus is just trying to slow down the offense a little bit, you think?
I think it's the fact that it's the reserves getting into the game. They're a bit nervous. Some of them, like Leongus, a bit more relaxed, a bit more reserved, a bit more ready to embrace the challenge. But others are definitely nervous. Their heart's probably pumping a bit faster. And they're just not used to being out there, and they're just trying to get themselves acclimated with the field.
This is obviously very new for everyone on the Maine South field. For all the sophomores who are coming up this week, called up by Coach Dave and Sarah. At quarterback for the Vikings is number 7, Marine. Hands it off to number 9, Miles Davis. Excuse me, Savon Davis. Penalty flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be against Niles North. Illegal block in the back on Niles North. And that means that it will be, that means that they will have to replay second down.
Will, what I was talking about earlier with how the running clock is affecting Niles North's potential for offense, it's been one play, and right now we're already looking at 11 minutes, 20 seconds, a 40-second play with the running clock.
And that's where Niles North is going to screw up, like you said, Sam. So now it is going to be second down and about 14 for the Vikings after the 10-yard penalty of the illegal block in the back. Marine at quarterback with Savon Davis in the backfield. Marine takes the snap. Looks to throw. Pressure. And the pass is complete to number 5, Giovanni Pryor. And that was about a 16-yard gain on the screen pass. Almost getting the sack was the number 52, Adam Salame. It's going to be third down and 2 for the Vikings at the Maine South 45-yard line. At the 40-yard line, Maine South. Number 44, Christopher Blandon at quarterback now for the Vikings. Bland takes the snap, hands it off to number 5, Giovanni Pryor. And Pryor will get the first down, about a gain of 5 on the play for the Vikings. And once again, Niles North just keeps on getting first downs, even though the clock is running. They're still trying to drive.
That was a textbook gator roll tackle by number 24, Dylan Clifford. But like you said, Niles North just keeps moving the chains. And, you know, if they had enough time, it'd still be a competitive game. But the fact that there's only 9 minutes left and that they're down by 35.
Bland takes the snap, pitches it to Giovanni Pryor. Pryor almost slips up, but he still gets a decent gain on the tackle.
A gain of about 7 for Pryor. Great recovery.
Big tackle by number 24, Dylan Clifford, though. Wow. Dylan Clifford just takes him and throws him out of bounds. Ferocious tackle. But once again, the clock just keeps running because even though he got out of bounds, it's still the rule. And at quarterback is still Christopher Bland, the freshman. 2nd down and 5 for the Vikings. Sends Savon Davis in motion. Hands it off to Davis. Davis goes around some tackles. Eventually tackled by number 4, Kevin Lowe. And also number 45, Max Diaz. And that will be about a gain of 1 on the play, and that will be 3rd down and 4 for the Hawks. 8 minutes and 24 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Stoppage of play. It was a timeout called by Niles North. That's why the stoppage of play. And Sam, what do you think about this drive from Niles North so far?
I like the fact that they're still pushing. They're not giving up. But the thing that I'm personally liking is that they're recovering. We see the quarterback stumbling, getting up and gaining about 6 yards. We see them, even though the pocket's collapsing, still making plays. And that's if I had to take away one positive thing from this Niles North drive, it's that.
Yeah, I mean, Niles North has looked pretty good to start this second half so far. Maine South is probably the more talented team, but Niles West has just been trying to get gritty with Maine South and trying to get every yard they can gain against them. And Niles North has been doing a good job to start the second half so far. Take a look at the band. They have so much energy every game. I mean, the band always just brings the student section so much hype.
And with this being homecoming week, obviously the band, the student section, cheerleaders, Hawkettes, even the football team, obviously, they're all going to be a bit more excited, a bit more pumped up this week.
And even us here at WMTH. So once again, it's going to be Christopher Bland, the freshman at quarterback. With number 5, Giovanni Pryor in the backfield with him. Bland takes the snap. High snap. Bland recovers it, but has to fall down on it, and that's a big loss. So about 12 for Niles North. It's going to be a 4th down and 15 on the bad snap. And Sam, that's just a killer for Niles North at this point in the game.
Yeah, this bad snap, along with the botched snap with the punt, that ended it being blocked, which then led to the touchdown by Charlie Romano. Seems like that bad snap's not necessarily recurring because it's only happened twice, but still, it's always a killer.
And Niles North is obviously going to have to go for this, and Christopher Bland is going to have to probably air it out on this play. Unless if he can find the seams to run. Bland will take the snap, back to pass, finds an open hole, tries to run for it, and it looks like he's going to get it. Big run of 14 yards for Christopher Bland, picking up the first down. First down at 10, Niles North at the Maine South 29-yard line. And Sam, I mean, Christopher Bland, the freshman coming in there, making a big run there. I mean, that's very impressive.
I mean, if I'd show you that run without anybody knowing who Christopher Bland is, and I told you, oh, by the way, he's a freshman, you'd look at me like, what are you talking about? That was a next-level run, varsity run, and he's showing us why he deserves to be on the varsity team, that's for sure.
Now in a quarterback for the Niles North Vikings is Miguel Picasso Marine. He throws it to number 5, Giovanni Pryor. Pryor will get to about the 15 and goes out of bounds, but there is a penalty flag on the field.
That's going to be against Niles North. I saw one of their lead blockers grabbing the helmet of, I believe, number 24, Dylan Clifford.
So either probably a face mask or a holding on this call. The call by the officials is being discussed. The lead official comes out. It's going to be a face mask. It's going to be a holding on Niles North. And that's going to neglect the big play, the play by Giovanni Pryor. There's an injured player on the field. That's number 9, Savon Davis. And he just gets up right away.
Thomas, stop the clock.
And
6:20.
That injury will definitely affect Niles North in a very bad way because Savon Davis is one of the main players for them. Hopefully he will be okay. 6 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Time's just running out for Niles North. But Niles North has a lot of positives to look at moving forward from the second half. I mean, they have been outplaying these Maine South Hawks in the second half, in my opinion.
Will, I think it's just that they're more motivated. I was talking about earlier about how you just feel a bit defeated, a bit beat up going into halftime. And hopefully that sparks something inside of you as a football player. Like, wow, we're losing 42-0. And we saw it right away with their first drive of the third quarter, but
Marine passes the ball to number 5, Giovanni Pryor, and that'll pick it back to about the line of scrimmage. So once again, it'll be second down and 15 for the Niles North Vikings. From the Maine South 30-yard line.
Number 46 is the tackle for Maine South. No gain on the play. Second and 14 for the Vikings.
And Niles North still with Marine at quarterback. In the backfield once again with him is Giovanni Pryor. Marine takes the snap, looks to pass, airs it out, and almost a one-handed catch by number 44, the Vikings' Jonathan Ellison Smith. And that would have been a spectacular catch if he could have came down with that. But that will bring up a third down and 14 for the Niles North Vikings, with the clock still running. Once again, from the Maine South 30-yard line. Marine still in at quarterback. Number 5, Giovanni Pryor, still with him in the backfield. Marine to take the snap. Goes to his left, looks to throw. He's going to throw on the run, and almost caught by number 40. Once again, Jonathan Ellison Smith. Good coverage on the play by number 46 for the Hawks, and number 1, Michael Pagliaro.
Coverage for the Hawks brings up 14 for the Vikings.
It is going to be 4th down and 15 for the Vikings coming up, with 4 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. So this is Niles North's last chance to get a score, and just like say they could score more than 7 against Maine South.
I think that even though it is only one score for Niles North, you still have to look at it on the positive side because they got shut out last week.
Marine tried to air it out. It was almost intercepted by number 46 for Maine South, who is a sophomore who came up this week.
Number 46, Emmanuel Spendieri.
And once again, one of the sophomores making a big play, and that will probably be about it for this game. Even though there's 3 minutes left, the Maine South offense just has to run the ball, and this game will be over. So Luke Leongas and his offense will come out for more than likely just this last drive here. Once again, he is joined by number 44, Antonio Pabin. Airs it out, and almost caught by number 83, Max Mon. Now, Maine South, like, that was pretty interesting, trying to throw a long ball there on 1st down and 10 when you're trying to just kill the clock, and just really no reason to do that.
I think the fact that they have the running clock, and Sarah's just trying to see what Leongas' arm is like.
And Leongas barely overthrows Max Mon. Great effort by Mon to try and catch it, but it was just too far out of his reach. Leongas to take the snap. Low snap. Yeah, still almost falling it. Looks to throw. He's going to air another one out for Eric Lilo, and that should be a holding on Niles North. Yep, the referee will throw the flag. That is going to be a holding on Niles North, or pass interference, one of the two. But Eric Lilo almost got that pass if there would not have been a penalty. And once again, maybe Coach Dave and Sarah just trying to see if Luke Leongas can throw the ball long. See if anything can happen with it. And it is going to be pass interference on Niles North. So that is going to be a 15-yard penalty. And that will bring up 1st down and 10 for the Hawks from their own 44-yard line. 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go in the second half. Leongas to take the snap. Hands it off. Nope, and he keeps it. Leongas keeps it, and he has some room to run. He'll get about 8 or 9 yards on the play, and that will be a late hit on Niles North, number 12, Jordan Jackson. So there will be another 15 yards added to the end of the run. So realistically, a gain of 23 on the play.
The preliminary signal, personal foul against Niles North.
So it will be first down and 10 again for the Maine South Hawks offense. And that will, Maine South will have it at Niles North's 30-yard line.
Result of the penalty, the Hawks will have first and 10.
30 seconds left to go in the game.
North,
Let's see if Maine
line.
South runs a snap here, runs a play. Down to 20 seconds. And Maine South will not run a play. That will be our game. And Maine South will escape with the homecoming win over the Niles North Vikings, 42-7. Maine South offense played great the whole game behind quarterback pulled out to start, and then Luke Leongas coming in to finish the game. And Sam, what did you take out of this game from the sophomores coming up?
Maine South has a bright future ahead of them. Luke Leongas looked great as a quarterback, whether it was the pocket collapsing or showing off the arm. And all those sophomores who played a huge role on defense, the almost pick by number 46, it's going to be a great couple of years for Maine South, because the fact that they can't compete with the varsity team is a great sign for Maine South to come.
And, I mean, the Maine South defense played very well tonight, too. And, Sam, what do you think about the Maine South defense?
I love it. You know, they had so many 3-and-outs to start the game, and that really set the tone. I love the fact that they capitalized on everything, you know. The block punt, which led to Charlie Romano's touchdown. The bad snaps, which led to led to Niles North losing yards. I just love the fact that they capitalized on every single one of Niles North's mistakes, and that's a sign of good things to come.
And, I mean, Sam, obviously, like you were saying, the special teams play by Maine South, the block punt, I mean, that really set the tone of the game. Going up 14-zip early like that, and, I mean, you just got to love the fact that Maine South took control of the game early and just ran with it.
I'm personally excited for Luke Leongas because he looked great out there. I was a bit surprised to see him out there, especially in the first quarter, because Cole Dow looked great. 21-0 isn't the biggest of leads, but I just love the fact that he looked comfortable out there, and that's one of the great things to take away from this game.
And one more thing, Sam. I mean, the Maine South, the whole team it was a great team performance tonight. And what did you think about the overall, performance of the team?
I just love the fact that it's a homecoming week game, and it was a great victory. I love the fact that there was a lot of call-ups, and the fact that everybody was able to play. We now have an interview with Coach Dave and Sarah of the Maine South Hawks.
All right, this is Marie Normandin here with Coach and Sarah. So this game was a really great game tonight. Do you think they're going to be able to continue the success going forward?
You know, I think they will, because the support we have from the community, from the home crowd, the band, the cheerleaders, our cheering section is phenomenal. It really motivates the guys to play hard. They want to do their jobs. They want this to keep going.
So why do you think the Hawks keep winning so strongly?
You know, consistent preparation, every day approaching it in a professional manner. Do your job, do what you're supposed to do, our determination is tremendous.
So how does state look this year?
Nope, too early for state. We got a couple big games coming up, including New Trier, so we got to take one game at a time.
So we're done here. Thank you, and good night.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, we didn't get down to like 11. I don't. I'm gonna go bring this stuff in.
Gavin, what should I do with this mic?
Just keep it there for now.
Welcome to the post game, and Maine South coming out with the win, 42-7 over the Niles North Vikings. Next week, our Hawks travel to Glenbrook South to take on the Glenbrook South Titans, and then we will be back for 2 broadcasts against the New Trier Trevians and the Niles West Wolves. For Sam Corbett, Will Charlton, and the whole WMTH crew, good night, and we'll see you against the New Trier Trevians.